Bone Tarot, and we are doing a love reading, a relationship reading, or if there's someone you're interested in and thinking about, this is a reading how they are currently feeling about you. So you're going to pick one of these tarot decks. These are the 4 signifier cards I picked out, and then this is each deck that I'll work off of. So really just if there's artwork that jumps out at you, colors, whatever it is, I mean, it's pretty simple, but one of these is your pile, and then it's going to be your message from Spirit about how they're currently feeling. So yeah, pick your deck, your pile, and I will see you soon. Thank you so much. Pile 1, thank you so much for being here and letting me read for you. This is Light and Bone Tarot. We are doing a reading for how they are currently feeling about you. So this is their thoughts, like who they are, how does this dynamic look, what's going on. Yeah, it should be interesting. So this was your signifier card that was right here. I haven't looked at it yet, but this to me is going to signify your guys' dynamic in a card. So whatever this is kind of like your energy. You could be in a relationship, you could not be, but this is you two in a card. And we have the 3 of Cups. And this is a very absolutely positive card. There's a lot of like, I would say this is someone at the very least you have communication with. I feel like maybe you have mutual friends. Maybe there's this like, there's like a common bond. There's something that bonds you guys, because this is definitely a card of like celebrating, just community, talking, kind of appreciating each other. So this is, I mean, right away, this is really positive to me. If you're not in a relationship with this person and this doesn't make sense, then I would say like there's a lot of potential there for you guys to have like to actually communicate and see each other and enjoy each other's company. But in general, I would say this signifies that you guys are, there's something very kind of like lovely and solid that can bind you guys. Okay, before I get into tarot, I have some oracle cards that I've selected, and this is how I'm just going to paint a picture of like your guys' dynamic, and then I'll get into some tarot. But I want to see your person. Like this is really more about seeing your person and getting like all the details on them. So I'm going to turn these cards over, and I have a meaning for each of these. This to me represents like who they were, their past. This to me is their present. These cards here are kind of like what they think they want out of this, and then this to me is what they actually need. So I'm just going to take all this in because this one is always the most interesting to me, Greenman. Okay. So there is, I'm going to start, I do like the 3 of Cups as your guys' dynamic in a card, but I will say so far what's here is a little bit more intense. Your person might have great communication skills. They might be very friendly or outgoing. You guys might be able to always like kind of have a great conversation, but I'm not actually sure how much you guys are actually clicking. And when I say this because to me, there's this person's, honestly, they're intense. I think they're trying to figure out their life path a little bit. I think I don't know. I actually do think they're a little bit confused right now. I think they're probably prone to maybe like some mood swings. Maybe they're temperamental. Maybe they're coming off as like hot or cold. I feel like in the past they were a little bit more secure, but that might have been because things were just a little bit more simple. I just feel like things are kind of complicated for them right now, and what they actually need is like downtime, rest, peace, and the message here being inner peace. And this is what I've assigned to the card of like what they actually need. And they need to quiet their mind. They need to stop with the questions. They just need to kind of like be still. And I almost feel like they do crave this kind of excitement, this kind of change. Like they really like this. There's an electricity here, but it's also like this could be someone that reinvents themselves a lot. This could be someone that's like always on to the next thing. This could be like a really entrepreneurial type person who's constantly like loves starting things but can't really finish them, or they're always on to the next trend of like how they want to like live or maintain. There's some complexities here, but there is a little bit of like a handful piece to this person as well. I think like, I do think you guys have a chemistry. I think there's a little bit of friction as well. I think when things click for you guys, it's completely on point, but I don't know that you can really put your finger on this person. They really do. They do need to figure some things out for themselves. And to me, there's just this message of like, what do you want? What do you want to stick with? What's going to stick for you? What are you actually looking for? Because there's absolutely a chaos here. And there is this bit of like, I don't know that they're angry, but I think they're kind of confused. Okay, so that's just your person. This really doesn't have anything to do with your dynamic just yet, but this is like how they're feeling about you. I guess it was hard for me to jump into like exactly how they're feeling about you, because I feel like they're a little bit more confused about how they see themselves, or where exactly this is going. It doesn't mean you guys aren't great for one another or that you aren't going anywhere, but this person, I just get the vibe that they need to work on themselves a little bit here. But you might actually bring them quite a bit of stillness, more than, I want to say, others, or more than anyone else. Like, you might make them feel a little more plugged in, like connected. I do think that is something they appreciate about you. Sorry, I'm just trying to think about this inner peace thing. This is one of the most interesting cards on the table to me, because this is what they actually need. They really do need this inner peace. So there is something they have to quiet. And I do think that in their past, things were a little bit more simple. I don't know why things have gotten a little crazier for them, or why they've kind of like craved that chaos or leaned into it. Maybe this person has commitment problems, and actually this card could imply that there's like a third party, or maybe this person can give into temptations. Maybe they strayed or were unfaithful. I'm not sure. Or maybe you guys are like working through an open relationship status. This could lead to that, or this could, be telling of that. But if that doesn't speak, and that isn't your guys's jam or problems or whatever, then I do think this does imply that you guys do come together and click really well when things work. But this person is a bit of a head. They're in their head quite a bit, but I guess it's needed because they do have to figure out what they want and where they're going. And it's like okay, let me see. I want to see what you guys like. What's your guys' dynamic in 3 cards? Like, and it will probably help clarify if this is a communication card and like everything's great and fun, or if this really is more of like a problematic thing. But okay, let me see you guys, I don't know if you guys is a word, in 3 cards. The Magician, 5 of Cups, and 3 of Wands. This is definitely all kind of all over the place. The Magician I love because it is this sense of like, there's an action. There's this like, if I want this, I'm going to work on it. I'm going to actively pursue this. I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to like stop at nothing. There's just this very like yang energy of like infinite possibilities and just going after what you want and pursuing. So I like this card in the pursuit. 3 of Wands is also very positive. There's very much an action piece to this as well. It's seeking something. It's knowing what you want. These cards go together very well for me, and I like this. So your dynamic here in these 3 cards is like you're goaling towards something together. I think you guys have probably hashed through many conversations about like, where is this going? What do you want? How do you see this working out? Like, can we commit? I just feel like you've had a lot of conversations about like where this is going and how we can do this. And I think that's great. And that actually does track here, because I think your person needs a lot of like, I don't know, they just need to be seen. They need to be recognized. Like they need to talk things through. I just feel like they always have something they want to like be heard on, like an issue. I don't know. I have a feeling you do quite a bit of like nurturing for this person. And that's fine. And it might even be fun and interesting. And it might like be something you actually like about this person, but it is something I think you actually feed off of. However, it could and maybe starting to get old or could get old soon. But also to your guys' dynamic. So I love these first 2 cards, but the 5 of Cups is a little bit more, there's a challenge here. There's a loss. There's this emotional piece that isn't so awesome. It's a little bit more of like there's just a loss. And maybe these conversations came about because someone was like unfaithful, and that doesn't mean that it's the end of the relationship or the end of the world. Like whatever, these things happen. I don't know. I guess it's different for everyone, but like this, maybe you guys are like choosing to work through something. But I really feel like if this person was unfaithful, let's say, I think it was more of like, not so much that the other person was the issue, like they wanted this other person or liked this other person. I think it's just, they're really in their own head. Like it's more of their issue, and I'm not excusing it if that's the case, but I would just say that like, I think it speaks more to like, why did they do it, and where are they at, and what's going on in their head. So, in other words, I don't know that like you would feel like the jealousy component if that was the case, more of just like the questions, like the trust, like, can I trust that you won't do this again? I don't think you'd be tripping off of who that person was and all those details. It would be more of like, are you at a point in your life where like this isn't going to continue to happen? If you guys are having issues, and it doesn't even have to be about someone else. It can just, any issue. I feel like the question is more of like, why, and can we fix this, like moving forward? So that's what I get here out of your guys' dynamic. And I want to like say some good things about your person, or at least turn some cards over and find some good things, because there's nothing about them that I don't think they're, I don't know if I think they're into you, but I don't think they're not into you. Let's put it that way. Like I can't see if they're crazy about you, except this 3 of Cups cards tells me that there is a lot between you guys. There's a lot of like interest, communication, fun, camaraderie. I think you guys have a very good time together. And I do think you are the one person that can kind of like pull this person to like the next level. And they know that. So, and I get this sometimes, like maybe this person has addiction issues, or maybe they're just always kind of dealing with something. Their past can be maybe a little more like tumultuous or intense than I've like picked up on or spoke to. But yeah, let's see. Okay, let's just see, how are they feeling about you? How do they feel about you in 3 cards? I want to know. Okay, King of Coins, like that. 4 of Cups. Okay. And 4 of Coins. So this is, to me, this is really quite positive. I think that if I just take it from the cards, again, the 4 of Cups is kind of like the iffiest card on the table, so I'll come back to that. But these, I think they want to make things work with you. I think they want to protect you. I think they want to take care of you. I think they definitely could see you as someone that they want to make something work with. And there is this like this home, this grounding sense where like they want to stick this through. They want to see you guys just stick. I really think that you might bring them a lot of security and like safety, and they see you as like someone that they want to kind of build this future with, this foundation. Like you could be that person that makes them feel safe, secure, grounded, all of that. Like maybe they feel like they're just spiraling with everyone else, and with you they're like, yes, I can do this. Like I can see this through. But and I think this works for you. This person isn't for everyone. They just seem like a handful. But if it works for you, I think you dig this. You like that there's always this like almost like excitement to it. And then I think the 4 of Cups, about how they feel about you, and if we had to give like just kind of one moody, almost icky element here, I think they do have moments of feeling like somewhat numb or apathetic, or like where they seem to pull away. And I don't think it's you, and I don't think that they're then on the pursuit of someone else. I think they're just kind of like, they get the blahs from time to time. And this is, I think, where the inner peace comes in, where they really do need inner peace. They might think they want, like, I'm trying to think of like how to describe what they actually want. Because what they want to me is like, it's something along the lines of like, they want everything to kind of be perfect. They want to like, I don't know, I almost get this like create a legacy thing, but I can't really put my finger on, I can't really put that with a word, but like they just want everything to be perfect. They want to do everything right. But when really like for them, I think leaning into the mess and the chaos is really, that's where they're going to find their peace. Like they almost want to give too much structure. They're almost try too hard. And with you, I like the balance that I see you guys striking together. I think this person, for lack of a better word, absolutely needs you. I think they know that they need you. And I think that they feel very strongly for you. If they were capable of like caring for someone and deeply committing and like hashing through everything and making it work, I absolutely think you're that person. So I think they think very, very highly of you. And I really think like, I'm going to say with this card, like just coming to this, because there's so many spins on this card, you might be that one person where they feel like you could give them everything. Like you could make them feel like if they had to commit, if you guys really stuck this out and went for it, like it would be okay because you bring all these other like facets and dynamics to the relationship. There's a piece here where I can see them relying on you for quite a bit, but I think you like that and I think it works. So I'm going to stop this reading here. It wasn't terribly long, but I think it's very positive. I just think you might have your hands full with someone. And this is someone, by the way, like, I think the longer you're with this person, the more they're going to be like need you and love you. And it might actually make you want to crawl out of your skin at some point. But like for now, I think this could really work if this is what you want. I hope you enjoyed this reading. And I would love any comments or feedback, liking, thumbs up, whatever you can do to help support this channel or this reading if you liked it. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and letting me read for you. We are doing a reading it's a love reading. It's about relationships or your dynamic with that one person. So this is basically how are they currently feeling about you? What does your dynamic look like? What are their thoughts? Who are they? And how do they feel about you? So this top card right here is, I'm going to say this is your guys' connection or dynamic in a card. This is you guys in one card. What does your dynamic look like? And here we are. This is King of Wands. So a great card for if we had to pick your guys' dynamic, because this is like, it's so strong. It's so much action. It is all passion. It is all like just wanting and needing. And I think loving, but there's a very, very big passion piece to this. So much so that it could almost be problematic, but I don't want to go down that road if it's not necessary. But I like this. I like this a lot. And I feel like we're going to see a reading that's like really speaks to like how much you guys kind of like want and need and love each other and like just kind of could devour each other. But I'm not sure. We'll see. I've got some oracle to start off and kind of gauge where you guys are. And I've assigned a little bit about this. So, okay, this card to me represents their past. Like, who were they in the past? I guess kind of before they met you or before you guys got together. This is kind of like their past energy. This is who they are with you. And that's sweet. This to me, these cards are just a mix of like what they think they want. So this is what they think they want in 3 cards. And we've got Broomwood. I have to kind of like take these in. I'll do that. And then this is what they actually need. And okay. So every time I turned one of these over, I like this. I just have to look at these for 1 second for what they think they want. Okay. I have a little bit there. Your person is, well, hold on here. Passionate, and I really think your dynamic is, I think there's a depth to it. I think that you guys function like a couple that has a lot of layers, a lot of depth. I'm not saying like you guys don't go out and party, but I wouldn't be surprised if you guys stay in and like talk over like a glass of whiskey or something more than you do anything else. Like I just feel like you're the couple that really you get into the what do we want and where are we going, but in like a like philosophical kind of way. I don't know if this person's changed a whole lot since before they met you to who they are now. I would say before they met you, they might have been a little bit more, well, I think they were probably quite scholarly. I think they were definitely a thinker. I think they were well read. The title of this card's Observer, and I think they were very much like, almost like in a King of Swords versus King of Wands. And they might still be the King of Swords. Your dynamic is King of Wands, which I like because there is a lot going on there, and it is, I feel like passion and love and like desire is like really at the core of it. But also it's like, I don't think this person would be with you if they didn't want to be with you with every like, ounce of their being. I think this is someone who does exactly what they want to do when they want to do it. And they can definitely explain why. They could talk to you for hours about it. Like, but they do them, I think, on all accounts. I wouldn't be surprised if before they met you, this person was like pretty anti like love or commitment or relationships. Maybe they got burned and they like spun a story like they gave it meaning on like a maybe philosophical or like esoteric kind of level where they just had this big thing about why they didn't want to commit or didn't want to be in a relationship. And then you guys got together or you guys met, and I feel like they feel differently with you. With you, I think there's a lot of comfort. I think they're very much like at peace with you. I think when you guys are either home doing your thing or you're like on a date or whatever, there's a lot of connection. And I do think they feel really safe with you. Like they could kind of let down this previous, I almost want to say like bitterness here. Like there's something in their past where I think they were just, I don't know, like angry, or they like that one experience that just really jaded them. But it's like, yeah, I think they were a little icy in the past, and even a little like judgmental. But with you, I think they've softened a lot. And I think you've shown them just this side of a relationship that's like very comfortable, very warm, very safe. And it has brought out now between you guys this kind of like this passion, this like coming together and like feeling your passions and your interests and like just feeling very like safe together in that way, which is really positive and really beautiful. What your person wants to me is a little bit more confusing, because it's just a mixed bag. Like, it's hard for me to say what they want. It really is. I think what they want, honestly, maybe it's hard because it doesn't seem to have anything to do with a relationship. Like, I'm not saying they don't want the relationship. I think they actually really want the relationship. But what they want is like, it's almost like the relationship piece is so good that they want to work on these other parts of their life, which is, I think, them like growing, them letting go of the past. I kind of see that here with like really like cutting ties and like just working on being that the best version of themselves, or kind of like a new version, kind of like adopting new attitudes. I think your person is also very smart. But yeah, they're a thinker for sure. And it's nice that you guys together equal this fire, because I don't know many people that would bring this out in them, and they know that. The one interesting card on the table is what they actually need, and we got freedom. And I don't think this means that they need to be free from you, but I do think that this person, just as like a general message, always needs the freedom to like do what they need to do. And that doesn't have to mean like open relationship style or anything like that, although maybe that would be something that would work for them, but that's not what I get out of the freedom piece. It's just like they have to be able to speak their mind, speak their truth, like live their truth, basically. If this person is like held up against, I don't know, if they're getting like ultimatums, or if they're like getting hammered with like, I need you to do this all the time, or that doesn't work for me, or like it's just not going to work. And I think you know that, because if they're comfortable and you guys have passion and they feel secure, then they do have the freedom piece. But this is something that I think if it ever like fell off, or if you for some reason like tightened or changed something, or a dynamic shifted, or there was like trust lost, this could be a big thing that would like just, they wouldn't be able, you guys wouldn't work if this wasn't here. And this is, I think, a lot to do with trust too. And I think you guys do trust each other. I think you guys talk about trust and like human nature and desires and like just the human condition, all of it. So like, I think there's a big understanding between you guys, but if that ever like deteriorated or shifted, you guys would have to like, it wouldn't work if you, anyway, enough about that. But this is what they love about you. Like truly, they love that you guys have this. And it's like you guys could both be like, you studied philosophy together or something like that. Like there's just, your minds really work together and you guys click and you come together and it's really beautiful. And I think this person has a tremendous amount of respect for you. And I think with you, they do show this like very vulnerable, open side that I don't think many people get to see. Okay, I want to see your guys' like dynamic in 3 cards. So what do you guys look like in 3 cards? So we have Justice, 4 of Swords, and I'm going to take this guy here, Queen of Cups. I do think there's a lot of openness and honesty and fairness between you guys. I think you guys do give each other your time, your space, your like recovery time. Like, I just think you guys are very, very aware of like each other's, not just like wants and needs, but like really like, what do you guys need? Like, does someone need their space? Does someone need to check out for a little while? Does someone need a weekend away? Like, I just think you guys are very aware of like where each other is emotionally. And I think it's a very, very beautiful balance. I really feel like you guys, there's a safety that you guys have with each other. Maybe you guys can like always express yourselves the way you want to, but there's just a very like safe space with you guys. And I think because of this, you guys do get to do, like you guys become doers. You aren't always in your head. You're not always like battling this mental piece. Like you're actually doing things. And I think both of you, but your person mainly, I guess, can get very much in their head, can get very closed off, can get angry, can get resentful, can like really build and create like a narrative that just like takes them in a whole different direction. And you know, they might be right, but I think you guys just have this very good trusting balance. And there's a bit of like, you guys, you know when to give things a rest, you know when to chill, you know when to take it easy. Yeah, I like your guys' dynamic. You seem like 2 very like deep intellectual people who like, you're thinkers, you can talk things through. You're just, it's like you guys are kind of no nonsense. There's a very nice energy that comes off of you guys. It's warm. It's just, it's complex, but it's like balanced. It's not messy. I think it's very deep, and I think it's very like layered, and just, it's not for everyone, but it really does work for you guys. And it's funny because I said, oh, I think we're going to get all these cards about like you guys having a really passionate relationship. And the passion is there, but it's not coming out in the way that I thought it would. Like, it's not jumping off the page. Like your guys' I don't think your whole thing is that, like, I don't think they're just with you because like you just turn them on and that's the end of the story. Like, there's so much there. And I really think what they're feeling about you is this, like, just mad respect and kind of like trust, and like they really I think they really appreciate you. Honestly, I think there's a lot coming off about like appreciation and like a thank you, almost like thank you for being so accepting and so open and so patient. I think there's a lot of patience. But yeah, you guys really, you have something. So okay, I want to see how they feel about you in 3 cards. So we've got the 3 of Wands, which also came up in the last reading, which is funny. 8 of Pentacles, and 3 of Cups. Like very positive, very, how do I explain it? I mean, the 8 of Pentacles, it just, they do anything for you, kind of. Like, they will put the work in. They will suffer through some things. Like, they really want this, like, they want to see this stick. They want this to work. and again, I think as long as like they do have this like freedom to speak their mind and do them, which is also equally important for you. I just, somehow this became like all about your person. But, and like, yeah, I really think they absolutely see you guys like, they see, the Three of Wands to me is a card of like looking out, contemplation, but like going after what you want, like almost like looking at a map and being like, I know I want to get here. How do I get there? Like, I feel like that's kind of how they see you and your dynamic. Like they know they want to be with you. They're like working through the course with you. Like this is, in other words, I really do think they see you as their person, like very much like they're, I don't know, not captain, but like, I don't know, whatever it is, like someone they work with and achieve things with. I think they see you very much as like an equal. And you're a little bit of like, you're their connection. You're their piece to a lot of things. Like without you, I don't think they'd be as social. I don't think they'd be as open. I don't think they'd be as happy or comfortable or restful or any of it. And then of course the passion piece wouldn't be there either, but they can be like open and emotional with you. They can obviously say anything. You give them the space to do that. You let them open up. Like there's just, you guys do so much for each other. I see what you do for them. I'm not entirely sure 100% what they're doing for you, except like respecting you. And I definitely believe like loving you. I don't know. And I'm not trying to see what you're getting out of this dynamic. So I don't mean, I don't see it as in like, it's not here, it doesn't exist. I just haven't really asked the questions, but I really get what they see in you. Like they've got you, I do think they have you on a pedestal, but I don't think their nature, I don't think they like hold you up for the world to see. That's not them. But like, just again, the fact that they're with you and they're committed and they're putting the time in and they're like allowing themselves to be like vulnerable and like just coming together with you. It's just a very big, lovely sign to speak of like how well you guys gel and how good your guys' dynamic is. So yeah, I hope you liked this reading. I'm going to stop it here because I think I painted a picture of how they are currently feeling about you, but it's definitely positive. And I just think you've imparted, I think they're very lucky to have you, really. Like this is, it's a very big standout that they wouldn't be who they are. They wouldn't be in the same headspace. They wouldn't be like as capable of like functioning if you weren't the person you are. And again, you allow them so much like mental freedom, so much space to grow and just, yeah. And as a result of it, you do get this like really beautiful, passionate side of them. And I think it kind of like feeds you and energizes you, and you guys definitely seem to have something very good. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please subscribe, like, comment, whatever feels good. I'm trying to grow my channel, and I would love any way you want to interact. So thank you so much. I hope to see you soon. Goodbye. Thank you so much for being here and letting me read for you. This is a reading about like love and relationships. They're my favorite readings. And this one is how they are currently feeling about you. So we're going to find out how they feel, really like what they love about you, what's working, your guys' dynamic, all that. So yes, this card was on top right here. And this to me is like the signifier card. This is your guys' dynamic in a card. So here we have the Hermit. So I kind of like this because to me, the Hermit, there's a lot of thought, a lot of depth, a lot of like inner work. There's definitely this like intentional kind of like solitude, healing. There's just a very like positive, high vibe, I feel like, that comes off of the Hermit. It's someone who intentionally goes to a place of like thought and tries to better themselves for it. So I feel like your guys' dynamic is very, maybe you're going through something like a I wouldn't say growing pain, but if you guys are going through like a growing pain in your dynamic, or you're really trying to like figure out, work through something, if the Hermit card is your guys' vibe, it means you're really working at it. Like you're putting your best mind forward. You guys are really trying to make this work. You're trying to make each other happy. Like it's just it's a very thoughtful and positive card, and I like that. We could like turn over cards to kind of derail this, and maybe there are other meanings for the Hermit, but I really see this as a positive, like thoughtful message. But I would say, just in one card, things are probably pretty like turned down right now. Like I don't think you guys are out like partying your faces off. I don't think you're like blasting your status or your updates on social media. I think there's like, you guys are really like taking back, like you're taking stock, you're taking inventory. Like it's not about how anyone else sees you guys or it's how you guys see each other and that whole thing. Okay, so here are some cards that I've given to you guys. So this is your person because we want to know how they're feeling about you. So I want to see them. This is kind of like their past, who they were in the past a little bit. This is their present. Okay, I love that. This is actually, I've given these 3 cards what they think they want. So it always takes me a minute to sort through what they think they want in 3 cards. And this is what they actually need. So these are the ones that I have to take a minute to look at. Opportunity or windfall. Things will not always need the changes coming. Ball. Okay, that's very clear. Very clear message. Okay, your person. I look at their past. Alchemist, purity, ice, security. I would say looking at just these cards, I think things have to be going pretty good for you guys. I think you guys are, I would like to think in a relationship, I get the feeling here of like a couple who is settled. You guys are very much together and you're very much trying to figure out like almost like how do we structure our future? I don't think it's like, what do the next steps look like? Do we like each other? I think you guys know you like each other. You know you love each other. It's really this like, how do we do this? How do we make this, like, how does this work? So I think your person's past just, which to me almost seems to be like the least interesting component here. In other words, I don't know if they've changed that much, but in their past, I do think they were, what I get out of Alchemist, it's like, it's someone who tries to change something, but they aren't doing it from a like malicious or sneaky or like crafty perspective. It's almost like there's this sense of trying to do the right thing. I think your person has a very almost like simple past. I think they were good in their past. I think they strove to do the right thing. I think they're still trying to do the right thing. I think they've always wanted the best for themselves, for their friends, for their family. I don't want to say they were like squeaky clean, but I do get this kind of like very honest, good, almost like, I wouldn't say simple, but not like super chaotic past. I don't know that they have like all these skeletons in their closet. They just seem like not normal. There's something still very exceptional about them. I have a feeling they're probably very intelligent. But I just don't I don't see anything in their past where I'm like, ooh, that's interesting, or that's like, that would explain how they're feeling about you. No, if anything, the ice and purity for present with you, I do think with you, there is this sense of not just calm, but this clearness, this clarity. I do think if they haven't said it, you can probably feel it, that like you can tell you're their person. Like you can tell that with you, there's this stillness, like things are clicking. And as a result of that, and maybe now especially, like they're really thinking how do I make this work? And it's interesting that I keep saying that, because it's not how do I make it work. They like you. I think this person loves you. I think this person wants to commit to you forever. Like I think they really, really, really kind of want and need you. If anything, they might feel more strongly towards you than you do towards them, because I can see in what they think they want is like they think they want right now just basically like the career, the life path, the material possessions, the money to actually start a future with you. And it could almost be like this person is maybe even trying to win you over or trying to impress you. I could see this person wanting you more than you want them, if that tracks. But it doesn't mean that they're not the right person for you, or that there's anything like to make me think that they'd be less than. I just think that they're very much committed to you. And I really think they have this like, I don't know, they just seem like they do things right. They do things almost by the book. And I just think they want to like do things right and like provide and kind of take like a more almost like traditional approach to how you guys would structure your relationship or your future. But this reminds me of someone who would take like all the right steps and like ask your parents or your father for permission and like put a ring on your finger. Like it just, but I feel like they don't want to do this until they like can afford everything and they've got the right job. And I don't know, there's just, this person does seem very, very stable, I'll say. Not a ton of excitement coming off of this, but they're crazy about you. What this person actually needs is security. And this is, I guess, one piece that makes me think they're just a little bit more into you, or they're more confident. Let's say that you guys are like, you know, perfect together. I do think they need to be with someone, or they need to hear from you that like this really is that they are your person in return. I get a little bit of insecurity off this person, and I honestly can't tell you why, but maybe it's because I feel like they're trying very hard to like provide and to show you that they would be like a good partner or a good person or a good provider. I don't know. There's just like this very almost, I just feel like they have a very traditional way of viewing a relationship or a dynamic, and they might even be a little boring. I don't know. Or if I'm getting that they are a little boring, maybe you guys are like almost taking a time out and things are very quiet right now because they are like kind of planning and like almost coming back at you with like, okay, here's how this is going to work. And you're thinking like, do I really want this? And if we did this, it would have to look like this. Like, I don't know that I see you guys like all fired up together right now, but I absolutely see how this could work. I just have to see that you're equally as crazy about this person as they are about you. But yes, these are their feelings towards you. They want to create a future with you, 100%. And what they need from you is, I think, the backing and the security and the confidence that like, yes, you're in it. You're 100% committed. You're there. And maybe that's what this Hermit card is. Maybe the vibe is that you are like really asking yourself, like, do I want this? Is this my person? Is this the time? Do I even want a relationship that looks like this? Like, I don't know. I feel like the questions are coming from you and they're trying to prove to you why and how it would work. So super detailed and probably not for everyone who landed on this pile, but that's what I get here. Okay, let's see your dynamic in 3 cards. So we have the Tower. That's funny and actually kind of tracks. The 3 of Cups. I feel like this has come up in every reading, but with separate decks. It's funny. And Strength. So I like the Tower card because it speaks to things a little bit. I do feel like you guys are on somewhat of almost like a rocky ground. Like there are options right now. There are like, okay, well, what if, or this could happen. I almost feel like if you guys aren't together, it's because there are a lot of questions and a lot of things that need to get worked through, and almost like someone has to prove themselves and then someone else has to like approve the thing that was approved. Like, it's just very much, I don't know that you guys are entirely together right now, or if you are, it feels like there's kind of this stillness, but it's not an exciting stillness. There could be some energy or buildup about the potential, but I get more of an energy from you right now where you're really just trying to figure out what is this. And I do think you guys are kind of enduring through this. There's this, you are staying strong, you're staying positive, you're supporting each other, you're communicating. I see you as like this supportive, or I don't know, maybe you're almost like the lion, the beast. Like, you're the one that's like questioning, or you're the one that's like more unstable, and this person is here to be like, look, I've got you. It could work like this, and this is what I want. And I'm this, lovely, stable person. But there is something about this person that I believe them. I think they can absolutely provide. I think they've got it in them. I think they want to so bad that they could do this, but they really want this to work. Like, they really want you. But I do, this space that you're in right now, I don't think you've always held this space. I think you guys have had a lot more fun in the past. I think things were, just more exciting. There was a different kind of communication. Just more energy and excitement. And I really would love to think that would come back. Yeah, it's interesting. And for the next three cards, in the other readings, I was asking what are their feelings towards you, but I'm actually going to ask what your feelings are towards them, because for some reason there's this overwhelming message here that you're the one with the question. And for some reason you thought asking about how they feel about you would help you figure out how you feel about them. But I really think right now it's on you, and this might even scare the crap out of you, what I've said. If it tracks, you might really be like, oh my God, this is a bit much. Okay, let me see how you feel about them. Okay, Seven of Pentacles. So I do think there's potential. I'll say that. I think you see potential in them. Yeah, you do see that they could be a provider. You do see them as someone who could be like the total package. I'm going to say this. You see them as potential. And I think what you see them as potentially being is a very stable, successful person, someone who's very smart and interesting, someone who is honest, committed, very trustworthy. There's potential. I'm not seeing a ton of passion from you, but I don't know if that's something that you generally, if that would have to be like one of the top boxes you would have to check anyway. I'm not sure. I have a feeling it is. So I do think that this passion piece could be something you have to think about or like reassess. I don't know. But I guess this is your reading, and I'll probably wrap it up here because it went in slightly different ways. So to sum it up, like how they feel about you is I think they would give you the world, and they're trying to figure out how to do that. And they want to show you that they are like the best person, the best version of themselves. I think this is making you a little scared. You guys are talking things through, you're figuring things out, but your person does need to know from you, like, what could this work? Are you even this into me? Like, could you see this happening? I just feel like they're asking you a lot of questions. And it's funny, the Alchemy card for their past, maybe they are a little pushy. Maybe they are a little like, they work pretty hard to get what they want. Maybe they kind of always get what they want. And I don't know, there's something else there, but I'm trying to put my finger on it. It's not like they always get what they want because they're the most charming or most good looking. I think they always get what they want because they know how to, like, I don't want to say manipulate. I don't mean manipulate in a bad way. I mean like just work with the tools they're given. Like if you, whatever tool you put in front of them, they'd be able to somehow get what they want out of it. So this is someone who can spin a situation and who can, I really do believe they'll be successful in whatever. I mean, maybe they're already successful and they want like all this other next layer of success. Maybe they already own a beautiful home and they want like a bigger, more beautiful home in a different place. Like I do think this person achieves these things, but I also think their relationship has to be like in the right space. There's just a delicate balance. And I do think it can be taxing on you, to be honest. I do think there's a weight here that is, I think this could be very beautiful and fun even, but it's not quite fun right now for you. Okay, so yeah, this is the reading. I'm going to stop it here because it seems pretty clear. If you have any comments, please let me know if you liked it, didn't like it. Thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe. And I do other readings on my channel about love and relationships. So maybe you'll like one of those as well. But I hope this tracked. I'd love to hear if it did or didn't for that matter. So thank you so much, and I'll see you again. Goodbye. Thank you so much for being here and letting me read for you. This is a relationship reading or a reading about that person that you like, want to be with, are with, whatever. This is how they currently feel about you. And then I get into like, I don't know, kind of like what they want and need and just what this looks like. So every pile's been pretty different. So we'll see pile 4. This was your card right here. And this is basically how I see your relationship, or how Spirit sees your relationship dynamic, whatever it is, in a card. And we have the Fool. It has nothing to do with being a fool. It's actually, it means like, I don't want to say careless, but there's this jovial, fun aspect. There's this fresh new beginnings. This is actually a really, it's a sweet card in the sense that it's like, there's an excitement piece to this. There's this like, I can conquer the world. It makes me think that you guys probably have something new or newish, like you haven't been together for a very long time, or if you have, maybe you're like just turning over this new leaf or trying something new and your dynamic has like totally shifted, because there is this like inquisitive, curious, fun, this unknown, this like very exciting. There's just a lot of excitement and a lot of potential. Like a new little chick that just goes out exploring. It's very, I like this. Of all the piles, this is my favorite one so far. So yeah, I like the Fool for you guys a lot if that's your dynamic, because it's, I don't know, it's positive and it's fun and there's a lot there. So I've pulled these oracle cards and I've given them meanings, and so here is what I see for you guys. So this is your person, like who they were in the past. We have the Sage. Interesting. This is kind of like the present with you, what they represent, and this is protection, Cave. I've got, this is what they think they want. What does this person think they want? And they might actually want it or need it, but this is kind of like what they're focused on, what they think they want. Planning ahead. Let's see here. Okay. And this is what they actually need, and this is diligence. So your person, just looking at these cards, it's funny because these cards to me don't match the Fool as your guys' dynamic. And I like it in a way, but there's this kind of like contradiction here. Because I thought I would see all these cards to speak to like your person being very like carefree and I don't know, just fun and like passionate. And I actually think they are very passionate, like mentally, physically, but I don't think they're very carefree. And I actually think in the past, your person was very aware. I think they have a past that they're probably proud of, where they can speak to a lot of things. They've learned a lot. There was a lot of like thought and intention. I like who they were in the past, and they could still be this person in the present. But I would say like, if you ask someone like, or ran into someone who knew them when they were younger, like high school or college or whatever, they'd be like, oh yeah, they were a very like thoughtful, just well-intentioned person who tried to do the right thing, probably did do the right thing. I like that. And they probably are very much this person now. And like with you presently, protection, Cave, I do think they, quite frankly, like they do want to protect you. I do feel like you're someone they want to look after, care for, protect, love. Like there's this very like, there's a love element here actually, like this nurturing, almost like kindness, but very like it's selected just for you. Like they've kind of like handpicked you to look after and care for and love. There's something very sweet, very special in this card. And I don't know if you're someone who needs this and like you really like this person because this is a big piece here, or maybe you didn't even like realize this and now you do, but I really think this person cares for you. Like this is someone who's gonna like kiss you on the forehead or something. Like it's just that very sweet piece, but love it. And what they actually need is, so this is what they want. So I'll get to diligence. I had a thing for what they want. They want a like concordance. It's almost like I think they want simplicity. They don't want to ruffle feathers. I think they really don't like tension or chaos or conflict. I really think they like when they're like in control of their situation, meaning like they can control it. Like if they don't start shit, there isn't going to be an argument. It just like, they're just very, I think, controlled. And I think they do act with a lot of kindness. This is important to them. I'm not saying it's not what they need, but this is kind of like what they think they want. They want to feel like they are in control, but like in a planning ahead kind of way, and in not losing their cool and not having those like, oh shit moments. Like I just think they're very steady, and it's respectable, but the fact that, but then there's this fun piece too. So they're not boring. They're not like a snooze fest. I think they're very interesting. I think they're cool. Actually, I think they're very good looking. I think this is someone who like, if you didn't notice them like right away, the more you get to know them, they become like a lot more attractive and like sexy and appealing. And then people who get to know them are like, oh my God, that person's like it. So I really think they have that. And what they actually need is diligence. So I don't know if like they aren't following through. They don't seem like someone who wouldn't follow through, but maybe there is something they need to like follow through on, or maybe they're at a point in their life where things like not everything has clicked, and like they just need to see these pieces clicking together. Like if they feel like they're stressed out or like they're being held back or like things aren't working out, maybe it's because, like I said, like there's just one little like chink in the chain or something. So I do think that they are diligent. They do see things through. They do start when they finish. They do intentionally, like if they're with you, they want to be with you. Like that's it. They're not gonna, and I don't think they're gonna be with someone that like they have to like fight, like work through things constantly. Like no, they want to be with someone where it's like easy and it's just the natural fit. And when they find that, which I do think they found in you, they really want to do everything to like protect you and like make you feel like they're your person. There's a really like almost like old school romantic quality to this, but I like it. It's very sweet. It's romantic. There's a romantic vibe here, and I haven't gotten it off any of the other piles, if I'm being honest. And the Fool is like, it's just such a sweet card. There's such a freshness. There's like just this new exciting energy. And I guess maybe this is the romance piece, like, cause it's this freshness and this excitement and this like wanting to like kickstart things. I just get romance out of the Fool for you guys. And I like that. I like your guys' energy more than any of the other piles. I'll say that. It's very, and I think for more than any of the other piles, I think you're equally into this person. I don't think you sit around and think, is this my person? I think you're crazy about this person. I think you feel like you've met someone that you absolutely click with, and I think they're crazy about you too. It really is just the vibe I'm getting here. So I want to see your guys' dynamic in 3 cards. So what do we have here? Okay. 6 of Cups, the Lovers. Oh, you guys. And the Hermit. Okay. So the Lovers card it's totally positive. 6 of Cups is like a very sweet, simple pleasures. The happiness that like, bestows a child. It's like that same vibe, that same energy. And the Hermit to me is like, it's that care, it's that intention, it's that like, I am going to work on myself to make like whatever it takes. The Hermit card is such a like inner light and inner guidance, like really, and it goes back to this sage energy. And it's someone who's diligent, like trying to see all the pieces and make everything come together. This is like your guys' dynamic is it's so positive. It's so loved up. It's so happy. Like there's such a happiness coming off you guys. There's such a spark, like so much, yes, passion, but it's like that old fashioned romance. Like there's something like you guys are just, I feel like you guys just gravitate towards one another. And like I keep saying you guys, so sorry if it doesn't feel like it's a reading about how they're just feeling about you, but I think it's like you guys are mirroring each other so much. You're totally on the same page. You're in sync. You're completely feeling each other. There's just a very positive, loved up vibe here. And I don't know, obviously, this person's like history or anything like that, but I will say when I look at the card of like present with you, the protection, the cave, like this is special. This is unique. They don't get to this point with just everyone. Like this is a very special thing. And even out of the diligence card, like what they actually need, I think this is them like really wanting to do everything right, to like put the right foot forward, to not rush things, to like give care and attention where it's needed. If they have to work on themselves in some way and work through some things, like they'll do it. They'll absolutely do it, because this is just something special. And I don't just say that, like there's a vibe coming off this pile. Like you're lucky if this was the pile that jumped out at you, because I think there's something very, very real between you guys. And if you guys have been in a relationship for a little bit and this tracks, then like this feels like the dead on energy. Like I feel like this is someone you've been with. But even if you're just starting out with this person, or this is someone you really want to be with, and like maybe not every piece speaks to your story because you don't have like a ton of history, it still feels like there's this, in that case, it would be this like almost unspoken, like this is your guys' future. This is how it's going to look. There's something here. So yeah, and there's just a care. There's just like this person is handling you with care because they don't, I don't think they are someone who tends to fuck things up. Like that's not the vibe I'm getting, but they absolutely want to make sure they do everything right with you. So good. Love that. I want to see in 3 cards, how do they feel about you? Which I feel like we already know is like you're special. You're special to them. You're close to their heart. They want to protect you. That's one of the biggest things. Like, okay. So 4 of Pentacles, how do they feel? 4 of Pentacles, 3 of Cups. These cards, it's so funny. I'm almost positive like the same cards were in the last reading, but from a different deck. Okay, so I do get the feeling that like they don't need to rush things with you. In other words, like this feeling, it's going to stay. You don't have to rush to the next step or the next level. You guys could sit here and do this and even hold on to like this freshness and this romance for a while. I feel like I don't feel like there's this, okay, we have to check all these boxes. We have to get engaged. We have to buy a house. We have to talk about having kids. Like, I don't think that's where you guys are. Like, only because it's just, you're very much in the moment. And I think I don't know, I think you guys really do. You're in the moment together and you're like cautiously preserving that moment. There's just a thoughtfulness here, but without the boring aspect. You guys have, so your current energy is it's just very positive. It's very stable. It's really stable. It's like frighteningly stable. It's kind of quiet. It's kind of still. But then the 3 of Cups brings in the emotion, the like the fun component, the fun piece. We have all this to bring in like the passion and the romance. But when I see your guys' like how they feel about you, they want to make this work. It is working. They want to stick it out. They want to take their time. They want to do it right. They want you to know that they're not going anywhere. They want you to like be happy. I think they want you to feel like you're complete kind of with them. Like you can have your friends, you can have your life, you can have your world, like you can feel everything. I just think it's important to them that you're happy. This just seems like a very special person. I will say this, your person doesn't seem like the average dude out there. Like this seems like a catch on many different levels. And again, this might be someone that doesn't stand out to everyone, like from a looks perspective. It doesn't mean they aren't good looking, but this is someone who, once you get to know them, they are dead sexy. And this is even like for your friends. Like even if your friends weren't like, at first I just thought he was like really nice and cute, but I didn't totally get it. And then your friends hang out with him a couple more times and they're like, oh my God, like he's heaven. Like that's, I don't know, that's the vibe I get. I think you're crazy about this person. I really, the energy I'm getting from you about how you feel about this person is also different than any of the other piles. Like you really respect this person, but you're wild about them. You're crazy about them. You're totally feeling them. You love that they want to look out for you and protect you. I don't like, they care and you dig that. And I'm going to stop here because it's so positive and it's so like kind and good and exciting. I don't know. And then even just for the full, like this excitement piece, it's like, you've got everything. There's so much security here. There's so much intention. There's like, and your person's so unique. And I think you're such a like special kind of loving, fun, exciting person in your own way. But then we have the excitement piece here and the romance to speak to it all. So this pile blows me away. The energy here is so beautiful and so, I just can't say it enough. It's so positive. And I'm not saying the other piles were like crap, but they had other pieces to them that I felt were like in one pile, the seeker was kind of like resisting or a little bit like unsure of the direction. And then, like every pile had a little kind of like caveat. This doesn't. This is like heaven for you guys. So I hope this tracks. If it does, please let me know. I'd love to hear it. Like, subscribe, comment, please. It means everything if you've gotten this far. Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, and I will see you again. Goodbye.